Hey guys, happy autumn to all. It's me Chinko from Chinko Study Corner, and today we'll be dealing with the poem 3 of our English literature textbook. That is, the textbook called is Flamingo. So now we'll learn about the poet and then we'll read the textbook, okay? About the poet, Pablo Neruda in 1904 to 1973. So he lived in the time period of 1904 to 1973. Pablo Neruda is the pen name of Neftali Ricardo Reyes Basalto, who was born in the town of Parral in Chile. Neruda's poems are full of easily understood images which make them no less beautiful. He won Nobel Prize for Literature in the year 1971. In this poem, Neruda talks about the necessity of quiet introspection and creating a field of mutual understanding among human beings. So what he got a Nobel Prize for Literature in the year 1971. He writes poem in very simple language that makes the poem even beautiful because a layman can understand his poems. Okay? So, a specialty for his poems is he always writes with green ink because green ink for him, according to his perspective, gives a symbol for hope. Okay? So, let's learn the poem. The poem goes like this. Now we'll count to 12 and we all keep still. For once on the face of earth, let's not speak in any language. Let's stop for 1 second and not move our arms so much. It would be an exotic moment without rush, without engines. We would all be together in a sudden strangeness. Fishermen in the cold sea would not harm the whales, and the man gathering salt would look at his hurt hands. Those who prepare green wars with gas, wars with fire, victory with no survivors, would put on a clean cloth and walk about with their brothers in a shade doing nothing. What I want should be not confused with total inactivity. Life is what it is about. I want no truck with death. If we were not so single-minded about keeping ourselves moving, and for once could do nothing, perhaps a huge silence might interrupt the sadness of never understanding ourselves and of threatening ourselves with death. Perhaps the earth can teach us when everything seems dead and later prove to be alive. Now I'll count up to 12 and you keep quiet and I will go. So this is the poem. So let's learn the meaning of the first paragraph. First stanza. Now we'll count to 12 and we'll all keep still. So the poet asks us what to count till 12. In our minds, not aloud. Why? Why does he say to count till 12? What does the number 12 indicate? It can either be the 12 hours on a clock or the 12 months in a year. So that is, it has some meaning. So count up to 12 and let's keep still, let's keep quiet. Because he says we have to be quiet for a point of time. So, for once on the face of earth, let's not speak in any language. So, what he means over here is we should keep silent and we shouldn't talk. He wants togetherness, he wants unity. So, what happens is if we keep silent, in what language would we speak? Or India, let's take the nation India, we have a diverse language. We have 22 recognized languages. So, these 22 recognized languages are spoken in different parts of India. So, that itself gives some diversity. So, what he wants is togetherness. So, if we are silent, we can only talk in the language of silence. So, let's stop for 1 second and not move our arms so much. So, we have to stop everything. We shouldn't move our arms. Moving our arms either can be our arms, our hands, or it can be weapons that's used for fighting or anything. So, if you move your hand, it's to give a signal either to fight or to argue. Let's not do all that. Let's be still, let's be calm, let's keep quiet. So that is what he's telling. It would be an exotic moment without rush, without engines. We would all be together in sudden strangeness. So, we all know, is there a point of time till now, like where all people in the world are kept silent for the whole world has been silent? No. If that happens, that is one of the exotic and strange things. There won't be rush, there won't be like you shouldn't move, you shouldn't move. What is the what does the poet say in the first stanza? He says not even to move our arms. So what does that mean? So we should stay still, we should keep quiet, we should stay calm, so that there won't be any interruption. We can all stand in unity. So without engines, engines can be the engines of industrial uses, like the machines, etc., or the engines of vehicles, aeroplanes, etc. So yeah, we would all be together. So he says, if we are all in silence, okay, when you are in silence, you move on to thoughts of yourself, you move on to thoughts of your family. So we will be there in the togetherness, okay? In a sudden strangeness. I told you, it's a strange atmosphere. You haven't seen anyone being so quiet. Not anyone, the whole world together being quiet. So it's a strange atmosphere. Okay. Fishermen in the cold sea would not harm whales, and the man gathering salts would look at his hurt hands. So now he talks about the fishermen. The fishermen in the sea would not harm the whales, because we said we shouldn't harm one another. We shouldn't use our arms to, not even to give signals, not to fight, not to argue. So you shouldn't harm. That is what the poet means. The fisherman doesn't harm the whale. The next one is, and the man gathering salts look at his own hurt arms. So what does that mean? Till now we were all working tirelessly. We were working hard for ourselves. We were working for our livelihood, to just live forward, to move, to keep our lives moving. So what he says right now is, please look into yourselves. These people who take salt from the sea would look into their hurt hands. So they will find out their hands are hurt. They feel you can look into your own bruises. Okay. So the next one is, those who prepare green wars with gas, wars with fire, victory with no survivor. So what is that? There are many wars which we do for plants, for milk, for oil, for mining, etc. These all are what wars that the ones for agriculture is the green war and the gas. All these have wars. There are many. Even if you have an argument against anything, that can be a war. Okay. So usually after a war, what is that? There are so many people who dies. And actually he says that there is no survivors. He says there's no survivors. So let's not do that. Let's not have a fight. Let's not have an argument. So those who prepare green wars with gas, wars with fire, victory with no survivors. If two countries are fighting or are having a war, and one of them kills everyone on the other side, or the one side wins, but what happens is people, soldiers are not alive, they're all dead. So what is the point? There's no victory. Actually, many lives are lost, and what you get, it's a piece of land, or freedom to make your own salt. But that, you can do anything without violence. You can be silent and then do your own thing. Don't have to be violent. Yeah, that's what he says. Keeping quiet can make yourself understand yourself and as well as others' point of view. Okay. So, and would put on clean clothes. So I told you, these people who conduct wars, they would put on clean clothes. To put on clean clothes means he actually wants to say that what they are putting on a new way of life. They are putting on a new clothes, in the sense these people are arrogant. They're keeping quiet. They're doing nothing. They're just keeping calm. Okay, so that is a new way of their life. And walk about with their brothers. And walk about with their brothers in the sense they have always seen others as enemies. So they consider their enemies as their own brothers and walk along with them. So over here you can see silence can bring in togetherness. If there's a fight, okay, there's a fight in a family. If you keep quiet and the other person keeps on going, at last he'll stop, he'll understand, okay, and both of them can manage the bond. Or else, if you fight with another person, you go on arguing, what happens is there might be a stop or break in that relationship. So what he says is, these people who fight for wars have to stay silent, so that they can walk with their enemies as how they walk with their brothers. In the shade doing nothing. So they're walking with their brothers in the shade doing nothing. They're silent, they're calm, they're not doing anything, they're just walking by with their brothers. They are actually sharing thoughts in the language of silence. What I want should not be confused with total inactivity. So the poet asked us what to keep silent, but he never meant for total inactivity. Like, it's not like, no, you're not doing anything, but you have to maintain calmness and be quiet. Therefore you can think about yourself. Okay? Life is what it is about. So he says, he didn't talk about inactivity, he is talking about life. He is talking about peaceful life, a life with happiness. So let's read the next. I want no truck with death. So he said, if there's a war, what would happen? I told you there'd be a lot of death, of soldiers, of people, everyone. So what is that? A poet, Neruda, doesn't want a truck filled with dead bodies. He wants prosperity, he wants happiness, fraternity, etc. in the country or in the world. Yeah. Okay. If we were not so single-minded about keeping ourselves moving, and for once could do nothing. So, like he says, we are single-minded. If we were not single-minded, what would happen? We will not do things only for our lives to keep moving. We always killed animals so that either we can eat food or we can sell that and gain money as our income. We never considered others. So that is what he's saying. If we were not so single-minded, what would have been? It would have been a more prosperous world. Okay? Excuse me. And for once could do nothing. We have to, a point of time, we have to sit simply. We shouldn't do anything. We should be quiet. We should allow our thoughts to wander anywhere we want to. And we should understand ourselves. Okay? Perhaps a huge silence might interrupt this sadness of never understanding ourselves and threatening ourselves with death. So, this silence may be, a delightful thing for our sadness, our, lack of understanding of ourselves and others. So if you keep silent, you can think of others' point of view. I told you before. You can think of yourself. You can look into your own bruises. You can look into your own faults, and you can improve. Okay? So perhaps the earth can teach us when everything seems dead and later proves to be alive. So when you are silent, the earth can teach you many things, because earth, when you are silent, you talk in the language of silence, and you're all together in a sense, you are united, you're all together. So over here, what is that? The earth, when it's silent, can show you what is actual life. Okay? So now I'll count up to 12 and you keep quiet and I'll go. Now he'll start to count till 12 and I will go. So now the poet is saying, he will also count to 12 and he will also keep quiet, and he's now not going to talk, because he said I'll count up to 12 and then he's going. It's done. He's keeping quiet. Okay? So friends, that's all about this poem. I hope you might have understood it and liked it. If you have understood it and liked it, please give my video a huge thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel if you're new to it. And also share my video with your other friends. So once again, wishing all of you a very, very happy autumn, and see you all in the next video. Till then, bye-bye.